Okay, after running the simulation, what do you guys think we did well?
So I think as far as the 5 dysfunctions of team goes, we actually, though we ran into a lot of like difficulties figuring things out at first, I think we did pretty well as far as that, because we didn't have any absence of trust. I feel like we all trusted each other. There was no fear of conflict because none of us got into any conflict. There was no lack of commitment because everyone was participating. Nobody avoided accountability because even when we were doing things incorrectly, we would like try to help each other the next round and just like figure it out.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like for Grace, we found out how to actually all predict the weather, so it wasn't a big deal anymore. But we figured it out, and then in attention to results, I mean, we wanted to all,
we all wanted to do well, but we weren't like as specifically concerned with our own goals as were the goals of the group. We wanted to make sure everyone was doing well together and not just, I need to get all my 10 points so I proved I did well.
Right, and we didn't just progress from each round. We looked at the results, looked at everyone's health and like mental state and supplies. Like we were prepared for like the next round. We didn't just go at it aimlessly.
Yeah. Right.
I feel like with every round we kind of like learned one thing, almost like with the first round, when like learning that if the leader like sent it in first, that it would like that it would like mess up other people or like mess up the line of other people's sending them in. And even when it took me like 4 chances to figure out how to predict the weather, but I think it like meant a lot that all of us were kind of trying to search on our own pages and see like how we could best help the person. Yeah, for sure.
And as an observer, from an observation, I can say that the discussion for the important decision making is very important for our team. And everyone in our team have their responsibility and contribution. Like Rachel was the leader, and she's the one to make the final decision. And Kristin is the photographer to help us to document our process and our experience. And Ryan was the doctor, and he is the one to help us with the health problem, and Grace was the marathoner, and she's the one to predict the weather, although sometimes it's not like
as accurate as we would have
but yeah, and everybody have their contribution.
Definitely. So overall, I think it was really good that we didn't get frustrated with each other, and we helped each other reach each other's goals, and that everyone was understanding that we were confused and stuff like that. What did you guys find difficult with the simulation?
I thought some of the instructions, maybe it was that we were a little unprepared, but the instructions themselves did not really seem to like tell you what was going on, so we had to really figure out everything on the fly. So after, like Grace said, we learned something after each turn because we found out something different each turn.
Yeah, I really agree with each one though, and I think that's kind of just because we like went in testing with like assumptions, and kind of we talked about this earlier, like both of us kind of went in being like, oh, it's kind of self-explanatory, but I think even just preparing more and like reading the facts ahead of time instead of thinking that we would, go through it and then be able to figure it out well.
And I think even like we should have probably made sure all of us like understood. Does everyone understand the rules and instructions?
Or even what each of our goals were, because I know I should have done that better.
Yeah, knowing our roles was definitely something we could have improved on, and like how to complete them, because and knowing how to complete them because like I was the leader, but I didn't know that I was in control of like us advancing to the next round until like the 3rd round. So definitely looking at the information more closely.
And I think the most difficult is because we cannot control the weather. We cannot predict
the weather.
And all the team member gets to weaker and weaker. But once a time Grace was sick, or Kristin was sick, and we decided to leave her alone and continue to climbing.
Yeah, that was
that was Jake.
Okay, because he's willing to do that, and we still have to reach our goal, so we have to like keep climbing.
Yeah. So even though we left him behind, that was like, I think that was good of us to make as like a group decision.
Yeah.
It was almost like that was a positive thing that we did. Kind of.
Yeah.
betterment of the team.
I just think it was difficult too because like some of our actual roles were like not really assumed. Like you obviously were curing people, I was obviously taking pictures, but we never really expected the marathoner to be like predicting the weather accurately.
Supposed to be
And like it actually putting
people's
people's like life in
like sent in my thing.
like put it, like a marathoner putting people's like lives in danger because of like faulty predictions. Like it just didn't really make sense. So until we figured that out, we couldn't really move on. But at least we stopped and all helped and figured it out until we did the whole simulation like that.
I think another problem was also the sickness that was included, because as the physician, it was kind of concerning me a little more than some other people, but as soon as it hit turn 3, everybody was suddenly suffering from mental issues.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what they're supposed to do with this, because there's no, instrument. I don't have any, pills or anything to give them, and so I don't know. Are they all going to go insane? It's what, do we find a pack of wolves and get attacked, and that's why everyone's suddenly sick?
Yeah. So this is definitely communication is technique. We were all, practicing, actively practicing, this is what we're supposed to do, these are our roles, and as each round progressed, it was more of actually doing it than just talking about it, and having strategies and I don't know, creating new ways to technically advance.
And I really want to help, but I cannot.
Yeah, from the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
What do you guys find beneficial from the simulation?
I think the fact that we were all in close proximity and able to actually discuss this with each other really helped. If any of us taken this simulation by ourselves, none of us would have succeeded in a way.
Yeah, I was surprised with the fact that they even had a chat option that you wouldn't be in the same room with people.
Right.
I guess it's for long distance communication, not just that you can't meet, but it's across states or different cities.
To do that simulation not together.
What did you guys find frustrating about it? I know that I was frustrated about not knowing the rules of the game and not knowing my role until the 3rd round because I unfortunately just didn't read the information closely enough. But what about you guys?
Yeah, I think that like I said, we were talking about before, how we thought it was going to be self-explanatory, most simulations and things that you do, at least for round 1, little bubbles will pop up and be this is what you do, don't click this until it's fully decided. It was hard to read all of the instructions and then just be assume that you could actually go and do it and everyone knew their it was in your profile and stuff, but there were so many buttons. I know you skipped over your profile and your goals right away until I showed you where they were after we had started playing. So it's just maybe having it go through, at least for round 1. I don't need it the whole simulation, but at least for round 1, but I guess that was on all of our part. We assumed too that it was going to be, more self-explanatory.
I feel a lot of times, with simulations, it seems it's almost an experiment that you're going in and you do it and then you figure it out the first round, and then it seems you
just trial and error.
For sure. That's what a lot of simulations are online, at least.
Yeah. And I think we struggled too because, I think we struggled too with making our individual goals met as and then also as a team, there were separate goals, but it was ultimately that we try to get up the mountain and try to make sure everyone's safe and stuff. So I don't know, that balance of individual and group goals.
I think the only thing, it wasn't super frustrating, but I would have liked to know what everyone's goals were going into the simulation, because I know everyone wants to get to the top of Mount Everest, but that's actually a very minuscule portion of each person's actual individual goals.
Right.
And so it wasn't until about turn 4 that we actually started really taking those into account. And by that point, Kristin's goals pretty much already passed. Mine was really close to missing.
Yeah.
And so...
we all would have read our goals out loud. We could have all been oh wait, don't you need to stay here? We'll move up only 1 so you can catch up if you need to. Taking each other's goals into account as working as a team, because I feel just me knowing my goals and I knew my goals and thought I'd have time to go back. But it was kind of, a back and forth because I was am I supposed to really reach the top with everyone? Is that the main goal, or is the main goal to, do
fulfill
what it says?
Your role. Right.
So it was frustrating, and we probably should have just all been this is my goal.
Yeah.
And then it would have been a lot easier, I feel and everyone would have been a lot more successful at the end, but, we learned from it.
And I'm sure it must have been
it's so
frustrating.
hard. I really want help, but I cannot.
Yeah.
All I can do is watch you guys.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
So since we've already concluded with the simulation, what could we have done differently?
Definitely prepared better. At least I know I could have.
Yeah.
I feel like because we were all like in a group, we were all like sitting in the library and like we were all like, oh, okay, like we're ready to go. Let's just get on it. And like didn't see. I don't know. Like I didn't think it seemed.
Yeah, just overall taking more time on the simulation.
Yeah, and then again going through each other's goals and then finding like maybe we could have even like planned on how we're gonna like accomplish that. I mean, now that we know all the information, we know how it runs better. So I feel like going back, if we were to redo it, we would all probably kill it pretty well because like I feel like after we all did help each other find the mistakes and how to correct them. So it wasn't like we just all made mistakes and then at the end of it we're like, well, we still don't understand that. Like I think we understand all of our mistakes and what we should have done. So to like redo it, I don't think we'd make the same mistakes.
Yeah, and you talked a lot about like assumptions. So like we could have made less assumptions and just like followed it
based on facts.
Yeah, definitely.
We did really. I don't think we debated very well on the basis of strict facts. It was kind of more what we thought about how we interpreted the facts. It was actually a lot more opinion-based arguments. And it was something we could have done a lot better, but it was actually, I think, we kind of pulled it together at the very end and really worked well.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as like the planning that went into this, do we want to talk about that a little bit, about like prior to running the actual simulation?
As far as like what we actually did or what we could do better?
Just because like we met in New Orleans.
I feel like we didn't do very. Yeah, we were just all like, okay, like press run. Okay, we should just like start it now instead of like we should have gone through every page.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were all just like and we were all like focused on our own computers to start the simulation first, kind of.
Yeah, I think we were all just like antsy just to like start it and like do it and I mean, I feel like we could have all just started and then like let's go through it all together. And
you didn't prepare enough
for
this.
We actually had quite a few issues in the beginning. I know I had trouble actually logging into the simulation itself, and so they're like trying to hurriedly read through their profiles and everything, and I'm just trying to log in. As soon as I get in, we're going to go. We're already running late.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just goes with like what we learned in week 4 with like the context of communication, just like we were in Norland, like it was like, I mean, it was out of necessity, obviously, like this is a group grade and stuff like that, and like no one person was in charge, like we all had to like run the simulation together, and like the group was answering to like our TAs and like Professor Kochman, so it was just like, I don't know, the context is obviously important.
But we are unity all the time.
And then I thought we coordinated really well as a group, like we were confused about like how to play, but like everyone, I don't know, like as we progressed, like our coordination improved.
Yeah, at first we are so confused because I cannot control anything, and my screen just change. All I can do is watching.
Yeah, I definitely think that for all the struggles that we did go through, like we really did work well as a team because like, I mean, at least for the first 2 rounds, we were all still a little like confused, but after that, and people started getting sick and like all this stuff, and you're just like, I absolutely have no idea how to predict the weather. It was more just like, okay, let's stop. We'll figure out the problem. Oh, here's what it says. This is how you do it. Even though it wasn't our responsibility personally, we came and stopped and like took it over as a team in order to like progress. And I think after that, we all understood, oh, this is how you don't start dying. You kind of have to all know how to do your part, and so at least we fixed it, though we didn't all reach our goals at the end of it, but we fixed things along the way and tweaked things, so at least though it didn't seem like we worked as a group through the simulation, we worked as a group as a like in real life.
Definitely. I think as we went from like from round to round, like our group development just like progressed, like just as we were like progressing up the mountain, and like we looked at like each other's like specialties, like how each one could like be utilized, and like it was strengthened like as we went on, even though like our physical strength and like everything else is like deteriorating, like us as a group, like we were still like really strong.
Yeah, I think if there were like another 6 rounds on top of that, like we would have definitely like
then we would have got
or even if we had like 3 extra, like I think we would have all,
I think even
accomplish a lot more.
Probably. We were at base camp 4 by the time the simulation ended, so even if we just had one more day, we would have had the resources we need to actually get to the top and back.
Right.
Just a single more term, we would have had it all done.
Kind of to conclude, what did you guys observe that was surprising?
I was surprised that nobody got more frustrated.
Yeah.
Especially with me.
I agree. Yeah, I thought that everyone was
yeah.
really civil and calm and took everyone into account. I thought that was surprising that we didn't take it as a game, we have to win.
Yeah. Very understanding and just all trying to figure everything out at once. I just thought it was really helpful that everybody was trying to search the water.
I found it amusing that we even actually turned them into jokes for the groups to keep us all our spirits high and morale high.
I was I still am shocked at how not explanatory it was for round 1 and they after reading instructions. I mean, I know that's kind of ignorant to just be oh, I assume that it's gonna tell us, but most of the time, you get told a little bit what to do at first before the process. But I guess our ultimate failure made us a better group. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think in person, for sure.
Yeah. At first, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I just follow the step, but finally, I did close the end. I
knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay.
We did a good job.
Yeah, we did.
Great group.
Yay!